Believe it or not, there are some real dangers within meditation that we need to be very careful of when starting up our practice. And after almost a decade, including thousands of hours, and even receiving meditation training as a Buddhist monk, I've recognized some dangers. And this is both from my own personal practice and also from what I've seen being shared online as well. So if we type in on YouTube the words meditation for, and I'm sure you've seen this before, but one of the most popular options is manifesting. And just take a look at all of these videos. They come with the promise of all of your desires met, finding your perfect soulmate, all the riches in the world, you name it, you can get it, allegedly through this practice of manifesting through meditation. You might think that this is all harmless. But the problem is, when we start meditating with a motive to gain, then we aren't truly meditating. Not to mention how desperate and clingy this feels as well. But this method advocates clinging onto something that we haven't even yet gained, manipulating meditation or so-called meditation for personal gain. The primary danger here is that we're attempting to force our lives in a direction that's aligned with our own personal desires. Take yourself back 5 years, or even 10 or 15 years. Do your desires now align with your desires at any of those time periods? The truth is that most of the time, we don't even know what we want. We hardly even know what's good for us. The point here being that living a life of spontaneity, not knowing exactly what's going to come up next in your life, is the most exciting and authentic way to live. Whereas a life merely attempting to fulfill every single one of your desires would eventually wear very thin. But using meditation in a way, as I earlier mentioned, to strip ourselves back of everything that we cling on to, that's when we manifest a life that's true to ourselves. But let's move on to number 2 now. So not too long into my meditation journey, I began having these very intense, I guess you could call them paranormal experiences. And don't get me wrong, this is all very exciting at the time. And it shows that there's some sort of change going on internally as well. But the danger here is that you fall into the same trap that I did. I spent the best part of a year focusing my intent within meditation on trying to induce more of these situations. But the more you force it, the further it eludes you. I thought, wow, I must be such a great meditator if I can do all of these things. And complacency is a real danger within meditation. And not to mention that meditating with the intent to gain supernatural powers or to have these paranormal experiences really goes against the grain of what meditation is all about. And the third and final danger is what I want to call spiritual pride. This also has an element of complacency within it as well. Meditation is not a competitive sport, but it does seem like so many of us try to one-up each other at any given opportunity, and in the most subtle ways as well. But there are so many communities out there full of people who are drunk on this spiritual pride, claiming to be things like mystics, placing themselves above all others in the name of their so-called abilities. But this is a very dangerous path to tread. Remember to remain with your feet firmly planted on the ground, always remaining humble and most importantly curious to learn more. How do we avoid these traps? The most important thing that I've learned is that our intention means absolutely everything. So let's say, for example, you decide to go ahead and donate a fairly decent amount of money to charity, but then at the same time, you insist on going and telling every single man and his dog about what a kind and altruistic person you are. So this helps us to look at the true reasons for why we're doing things. Is it coming from a place of ego, or is it coming from somewhere with pure intentions? But regardless of any of these dangers, as long as we keep checking in with ourselves and asking whether what we're doing aligns with our own personal set of principles. In order to put all of this into practice, we need to actually meditate. And this video here will give you a great method on how to completely still your mind.